So let me ask you a question. When you passed your driving test, did you now go, that's it, I'm a perfect driver and I will never make a mistake again? Because judging by the state of the roads, actually a lot of people did. Following on from the last video where we talked about GDLs, the question I want to pose that no one seems to answer is what happens once we actually pass our driving test? Because apparently the answer is absolutely nothing. You pass your test, you get your license, and that is you for the next 50 or 60 years driving a potential death machine around the King's highways completely unsupervised. What could possibly go wrong? I've said this before, too many people treat their driving test like it's the finish line. And in reality, sometimes it does feel like almost handing the keys over and going, good luck, try not to kill anyone. Now, because my brain is constantly set to road safety mode, watching Good Morning Britain last month in November, I was mildly amused and mildly alarmed by something that I saw. They were discussing a learner that had failed their theory test 128 times. I mean, at that point, it's not a test, it's actually a hobby. And somehow that person probably knows more about stopping distances than the average person on the M25. Then Richard posed a question to his fellow hosts and guests of stopping distances and what we should follow normally in normal road conditions. Now, the audio's awful, but I'll do my best, so brace yourself.
What distance should you keep from the vehicle in front in normal decent weather? Is it a 2-second time gap, 1 car length, 2 meters, or 2 car lengths? 2 car lengths. 2 car. What's Laura saying?
D?
Is the wrong answer.
Cars,
It's 2 seconds. Okay, 2 seconds, because what's going on different speed?
2 car lengths. Now, first of all, learners constantly, when I ask them for the first time, tell me it's 2 car lengths. Where is this coming from? Who started this? No one in the studio knew the correct answer. All of them thought it's 2 car lengths. And then Susanna comes up with this gem.
How on earth do you know if you're 2 seconds away from the car in
Driving
front?
along.
She doesn't even know how to measure a 2-second gap. That should scare everyone. How many other road users are there out there thinking that 2 car lengths is the correct answer? And this is where I start thinking, surely we should have some form of legally binding development for people that are allowed to drive a 1.5 to 2 ton missile every day of their lives. You only have to look at the confused faces in that studio to realise how many road users out there don't know basic information. We're completely unchecked. People will say things like, I've never had an at-fault crash, like it's the mark of a good driver. They convince themselves that means they don't do things wrong on the roads. Which is often followed by, well, except that one time. And then there was that other time, but they stopped too quickly. Quick intro for anyone new to this. My name's James. I am ex-army, ex-trucker, now approved driving instructor in Norfolk. My passion is road safety, so if you agree with anything I say, or even if you don't, you just like shouting at your screen, or you feel personally attacked, come and subscribe, hit the bell so you get the notifications for new videos. They're usually every Sunday. And if you feel generous enough to dish out any likes and hypes, then I will lap them up like a cat with a bowl of milk. Now, story time. I was sitting comfortably. One of my learners years ago, I always remember this. Her dad had to go on a speed awareness course. And it is always the dad, by the way. When he came back from the speed awareness course, she came to her next lesson laughing and telling me how proud he was to tell her that if you're in a lamp-posted area and there's no speed signs, you're in a 30-mile-an-hour speed limit. Of course, 20 now in Wales. And she laughed and told him, yeah, I learned that on my second lesson, Dad. A few years later, same story, different learner. Her dad's on the speed awareness course. And jokingly, when she came back the week after, I said, did he brag to you about how street lights mean 30? And she looked at me amazed and went, yeah, how'd you know? How many people are driving about with very, very big gaps in their knowledge and understanding? Starts at street lights. It ends at didn't know who had a priority at a mini roundabout. That's a common one. Now, at that point, I was pretty convinced that speed awareness courses come with a big certificate that says now knows one thing. Here's a system that I would like to see in place. Currently, if you get 12 or more points within a 3-year period, you will receive very likely a ban from driving. Now, with enforcement arguably declining, for me that's very generous. Learners, of course, can only get no more than 6 points on their driving license in the first 2 years. So everything sensible seems to be aimed at learners, apart from, of course, the decisions to deny GDLs. There's nothing aimed at people that have been on the roads longer. And here's the irony. As a driving instructor, if I get 5 or more points on my license, I lose my ADI license. And rightly so. If you're teaching people how to drive, you need to live, eat and breathe road safety. So imagine this. Let's say you get 6 points. You have to take mandatory training with a driving instructor. And if that means an instructor like myself has to work a Saturday, so be it. But that costs money. It's a deterrent. And of course, you might even learn something. More than 6 points, a proper course. It could be on Zoom. It could be you have to go to it, but similar to the speed awareness. But that course covers the highway code, awareness, safety, standards. And of course, what's going to happen if you lose your license? The final step, another 3 points within the 3 years, you're banned. So actually, not too different in terms of penalty points, but you're given more points to turn it around and show that you are a responsible road user. And if you don't want to, maybe you shouldn't be on the roads putting the rest of us at risk. For me, driving's become so normal that many of us have forgotten the responsibility it actually takes. And the older drivers, not discriminating, as a whole, often have some of the worst attitudes. I often pick a learner up on the first lesson. Parents are there to greet me. And it's always the same old joke. Oh, I'd fail my driving test if I took it today. And then they look at you like they're proud. And they might be joking, but actually most of them aren't. They fully acknowledge they would fail a very basic B driving test if they were to take it again. And that is outrageous. Now, the positive side of this is meeting Jeff, Ray and Sam, who you'll see shortly on the channel. These are 3 drivers, 67 and 2 76-year-olds that voluntarily came and met me because they'd watched the channel and did driving assessments. All 3 of them had a high standard of driving. Sam in particular said how he really took away from my channel that he follows learners with a bit more thought now for the actual person inside of the car because of one of my videos. And Jeff, after watching my video how I come out of the driveway, regularly now puts his windows down and makes sure he doesn't put the car into the road before he knows he can hear it's clear. High standards, just from watching some YouTube videos, all of them. That's the proof it can be done. All it took is a bit of continued development. And honestly, almost every single one of you watching this gets it. No one is forcing you to be here. You're interested. You care. Even if you disagree with me, something made you watch. And that's the thing that's actually impressed me the most since I started this channel, is it doesn't take much to continue to be a safe and competent driver. But it does take something. Passing your test is not the end. It is just the beginning.